This is Deepak Chopra from the Dot Connector. I'm very happy and excited to share with you that we just started this initiative, a social media channel called the Dot Connector. As I mentioned in my intro video also, the intention of this channel is to support community. There are so many things when we are stuck with and we are looking forward for some sort of coaching and guidance and help and support. We are here to bring different subject matter experts and coaches and trainers and people from various industries and professions who will come on those sessions and they will share their journey. During that process, you will get to know how you can be like them, how you can start the same process. So today, I'm very happy to welcome one of our friend, Soni Nayak, who is a corporate lawyer in the city of Edmonton. Just a little bit introduction about Soni Nayak. She is graduated from University of Mumbai initially, and she is into this profession from last 20 years. Presently, she is a practicing lawyer in Alberta and is doing amazing job in real estate world and also helping families in so many other matters like child welfare and family law and all those things. So I request Soni Naik to please come on and share something about herself, and let's get started.
Thank you very much. That was very kind of you for the introduction. Hello all. Just to give you a brief information, Deepak, as you rightly mentioned, I was a practicing lawyer in Bombay for almost 6.5 years, working for corporate commercial law firm in Mumbai. So my main practice area at the time was, just amalgamation, mergers and acquisitions. So all sort of high profile commercial work and transactional work. Before coming to Canada, my journey began with the process. Of course, you are nervous and you're not sure as to how your professional life is going to be. It's a new country. So I started with investigating and looking out for information as to how will I be able to practice, being a lawyer in Canada, and a lot of information that I received at the time, and I immigrated back in 2007. The information did lead me to NCA process, which is a National Committee of Accreditation process. So I did that process. I moved here in Toronto first because I had to do my law school accreditation from Osgood. I did get into York University, so I started my course there. The main reason for me to join that process was being a mature student. It's important for you as well as for the new immigrant to have some sort of a networking or a peer support. And I believe that going back to college, going back to school will help me at the time to create that peer support and create that networking for a mature student like me. I also wanted to have kind of one-to-one relationship with the professors and teachers that would lead me to the process as well as to setting up my foot in Canada. So I did that. I did my law school in York University and then was articling with a solo practitioner in Toronto. Finished my articling, moved to Fort McMurray, worked there for 2 years before I moved to Edmonton. And as you know, in Edmonton, the city was new. I did manage to get a job with a big law firm in downtown Edmonton, where I did practice mainly corporate commercial, family law, bankruptcy, wills and estate, and residential real estate. So these are the core areas that I was practicing. Up until 2016, I was working with Snyder and Associates. I started on my own in 2016, just wanted to have that independence. I was raising a young family, was difficult in terms of managing the long hours that usually the big firms have to offer. So I started my practice in 2016 by myself. And, from there on, our firm, we are a young, dynamic, law firm, over 12 professionals now. with summer students, articling students, and paralegals assisting me in this journey. So that's my journey, coming from Bombay to Edmonton.
Awesome, awesome. So, Soni, that is really such a inspiring story. What an incredible journey. And I believe this is the story of almost every successful immigrant who basically land into this country with lots of goals and dreams and vision. And by putting hard work into place and having that focused mindset, one can achieve really a successful career like you. And I'm working with you from last couple of years in real estate of the world, and I have seen you working so professionally, helping so many clients, and very professional and very knowledgeable. So thank you so much for making that difference out there. And most importantly, Soni, I really want to acknowledge you for accepting this request. I know this session is not to promote your law business. I requested you to please come on this session and share your journey for those people who wanted to come to this industry. I have seen many immigrants who are having wonderful degrees from back home. For example, there are so many lawyers in my connection, even right now, who are living in Edmonton. They had law degree back home. They were doing good practice there. But once they land into this country, sometime how to upgrade those things, people don't get kind of motivation or that kind of support, or how they're going to find out the jobs and everything. So many challenges come, forward to their way, and they sometimes just give up to have that dream, to have set up a successful practice of law here. So today I request you to not only share your journey, but also give some ideas. If somebody is watching this session, and if they are immigrant, number one, from any country, and if they have law degree from that country, what are the steps they need to take? And secondly, even if they're not immigrant, maybe they're living here, some young student, they want to explore law profession. What are the key points for them? What education, what courses, what universities, what is the step-by-step process for that? And also, I request you if you can share what kind of options are in front of them once they get their degree in hand, how they can get a job in corporate industry, or if they want to start their own practice. So we'll be talking about all those things in this session, Soni. So can we get started?
Of course, I'm excited.
Awesome, awesome. So, Soni, thank you so much for giving us that presentation. Now, let me pull that up so that we can start sharing one by one, and let's go from there.
Sure.
So, the first question is how to become a lawyer in Canada. The presentation by Soni Nayak. So, thank you. All right.
So, Deepak, as the slide does mention, there are different steps. I did, provided you a brief information on how I started my process. I started my process while I was in India, and thankfully, I did it the right way. The only reason being, if you are here in Canada, and if you are planning to apply for NCA, they do require original transcript to be submitted, and the transcript has to be mailed to them from your university. So if you are here in Canada, it is difficult for you to connect back in India or whichever country you belong to or you're coming from to get the transcript from the university and ask them or request them to mail that directly to NCA. So I would suggest everyone, if it's possible while you are in your back home in your country, start the process there. You need to have a connection with NCA so you can create a profile with them. Once you create the profile, you need to check the eligibility, whether you are able to or qualified enough to apply for NCA. And if you are eligible, which of course the main requirement is you being a lawyer in your back country, and you need to, once you meet that eligibility criteria, you need to start getting assessed even before landing here in Canada. So apply from your home country. It's very important. They will require original transcript from the university to be mailed directly to them. They also require an official letter of good standing from your from Law Society, whichever bar you are member with. I was registered with Bar Society of Maharashtra and Goa. So I did I had to obtain a certificate of good standing, which indicates that you have no complaints, no outstanding hearings pending for you, and give a clear record of you being a lawyer back in that province. Once you have that information, once you're ready for with all those documents, you need to ensure that they mail that directly to NCA. So you should not be collecting that information and mailing it to them. They need the university to be mailing it out to them. And the timelines with the whole process in assessing, once they receive the information, they'll probably take around 4 to 8 weeks. Being in COVID situation, I'm not certain as to how long the process was taking, but at the time, usually the process takes around 4 to 8 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Okay.
The step 2, so once I'm able to meet step 1, the step 2 is of course assessment by NCA. So an NCA exams, you can challenge it either through registering with a law school, or you can give the exams by yourself. So they do have a prescribed textbooks, prescribes case laws that you would be studying in order to give you exams by yourself. What I did was I did register myself with York University, as I told before, and went to Osgood Hall Law School. I completed my process from the school, but there's a combination of both you can do. You can give certain exams by yourself, you can challenge it by yourself, or you can do some subjects in school, some subjects by yourself. It's up to you what really works for you. Of course, monetary, financial is one of the factors that you would have to take into consideration. Law school is certainly not cheap, but you need to consider the financial situation, and weigh accordingly what works for you. So the core subjects is given to you. Usually they give 6 core subjects to any students or any lawyers who are registering with themselves with NCA. The 6 core subjects are Canadian Constitution Law, Administrative Law, Foundation of Criminal Law, of Canadian Law, Canadian Criminal Code, Professional Responsibility, Legal Research, and Writing. So these are 6 core subjects that any people who are registering themselves with NCA will have to give. You may be asked to give an additional subjects depending upon your GPA scores or the courses you have taken, or even your past experience. So let's say if you've got past experience of 20 years in criminal field or criminal work, they would consider that. So there may be certain courses that could be dropped or could be added to your profile as well. Once exams are decided, you need to. There are certain dates in a year that you have exams. So that's twice a year that the exams are taken. If you're challenging it by yourself. If you're in law school, of course, the timelines depending on the law school's exam schedule. But the exams are mainly focused or based on IRAC format. And when I say IRAC format is, there's an issue which is, a problem. It's a fact-based problems that has been given. So there's a fact given. You need to have a reasoning, apply it to the facts, and analyzes and provide a conclusion. So it's a very different format than what we are used to of giving it back home. It's strictly based on the fact pattern exams. So once you provide that exams, usually you have 3 attempts for each exams. So if you are not able to complete or you're not successful in first attempt, you do have 2 other attempts. So in total, you have 3 attempts for each exams that you're allowed. But you need to complete the assessment within 5 years from the day that they have provided you that information. So you still have 5 years to complete that exams, but in 3 attempts each. Due to COVID, they have started conducting virtual exams. I'm not certain as to how that process is because I have not, given that kind of exams. My students that are working right now with me have also done in person, so they have not really used. They don't know much about how the virtual exams are taken, but that's one of the process they have started as well. After you provide your exams with NCA, they provide you a certificate which allows you to, which simply states that you're qualified to practice law under Canadian law. Once you receive that eligibility certificate, you then register with law societies. Now, different provinces have different rules in registration with the law society. What I did was when I completed my NCA qualification, I did, because I was in Ontario, I had to register with Law Society of Upper Canada at the time in 2007. It was called as Law Society of Upper Canada. Now it is Law Society of Ontario. But there are two components of, I still had to give my bar exams. So in Ontario, it's different. You have to give your bar exams, which is solicitor and barrister exams. It's 8 hours each for 2 exams. So you generally it takes 2 days for you to give solicitors and barrister exams. Once I completed that, you then get called to the bar. But that's in Ontario. In Alberta, the process is different. You have to submit the documents to Law Society and have to be registered with them, Law Society of Alberta, and also pass. So there is a practice course, which is a practice readiness education program. That course is held by CPLED, which is Canadian Center of Professional Legal Education. So you have to complete a written course before you are called to the bar. So there is no bar exams, but you still have to complete that course over a certain period of time. And in assessing the articling students or entry level, it helps you, the Law Society and the principal that you're articling with, to assess your capabilities of whether you are capable to be a member of the Law Society of Alberta.
Articling opportunities.
So I'll tell you my experience. I was in Ontario at the time. I completed my law school at a time where usually in Ontario, in fact in Alberta as well, students start applying for articling position a year before. So when you are in your last year, they start applying for articling position for the next year. So with me, I finished my articling in a very odd month. They did abridged my articling process from 10 months to 5 months, only because I had experience back home. So you need to apply for abridgment. And if the Law Society, and case to case basis, if they feel that you are right candidate for abridgment, they will allow that. So when you complete that articling process, when you complete that process of the NCA and finishing those exams, I completed at a time when the law students had already applied for the next year. But I didn't want to wait for another 6 months for my articling to start. So I started making cold calls, footwork. I started door knocking and started meeting with the other lawyers to see if I can get in. Because they abridged it, I only need 5 months and I didn't need the entire year or 10 months for articling. So my pitch at the time was, I'm able to provide the same kind of work within 5 months. And because I've got back home experience, it did help me to a certain extent. So I would suggest all the students is to, of course, door knocking, cold calls, pitch in your experience back home in your home country. Networking. I think networking is a very big important part of every professionals or even businessmen or every individuals. You need to network with the other peers, other lawyers, start meeting new people. There are various associations here as well. There is SABA, which is a South Asian Bar Association of which assist, which basically welcomes all the lawyers and all the professionals in the same industry in the law field. You can start meeting new people from there as well. Apply for volunteer jobs. There's a lot of volunteer opportunities as well. You can apply to Edmonton Law Clinic. There's student law clinics. So there are various other volunteering positions as well to get your foot in the door. Maybe you can also see if you can get in even as a shadowing work with another lawyer and see if that works with that firm. And that's how I got my articling. I would suggest that's a good way as well.
Yeah. So, Sonia, since you are just sharing this information about job shadow, if any of the student out there who is watching our session, if they request for maybe a couple days or 1 week job shadow in your office, is this something possible?
Yes, so we do offer, and I do have a lot of students coming as well. I'm quite aware of how important and how difficult it is for an immigrant professional to get into the field. I have experienced as well, and there are challenges. So I have provided opportunities to student lawyers or another lawyers from different country to probably have a week with us and see how the law firm in Canada works and how the whole system is, and to see if this is the right professional for you, if this is what you want. Um, and I'm more than happy to have them in my office, show them around, introduce you to our students, introduce to our professional paralegals as well, and see if this is what they are looking for in long term. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for offering that, Sonia. Okay, let's go to the next. How to secure your first job?
I would suggest again is apply for the positions with the law firm. You don't have to have a big law firm. It could be from sole practitioner to a small firm. You may have aspirations to join a big firm, and slowly, gradually, you would get that. But I believe you can also start from small. You don't have to have applying for the big law firms as well. There's a lot of law firms in Edmonton, in Alberta, in fact, in Granbury, different cities in Alberta as well, which are small but are happy to take any law students and willing to give them that opportunity as well. Apply for legal aid. There's a Legal Aid Alberta, which also offers articling students an opportunity to work with them. There is in-house opportunities as well, even courts. So if you are capable, or if you are able to secure a position with courthouse, you can also get an articling position with the judges, with the judicial system as well. In fact, even small corporations or a big firm, big corporations, they also have that opportunities available with them as well. So start applying to various positions. It doesn't have to be law firm. It has to. There's various platforms available for students as well. Networking, again, as I said, I wouldn't stress enough the importance of networking. Start meeting people, talk to them, see what they can offer you, what you can offer to them, and see if that could help you with that articling position.
Yeah, Sonny, and I would also like to add in here, like, networking is such a crucial thing. In Canada, you get jobs sometime with great recommendations also.
That's right. And usually, when you do get an articling position with the firm, if your work is good and if you're able to prove them that you can provide an I think hard work is very important, Deepak. I think hard work, persistence, these are the very important uh, thing that any employer is looking at, or employer is looking for. So if you are able to offer that, um, the place where you're articled, they can retain you as a lawyer. Ultimately, all the firms and everyone would like to grow. and if you are able to show them this is what you can offer, certainly they can retain you as well for your first job as well.
Absolutely. And definitely, even starting small, you are in the system. So your job is to just get your foot into the door, and then sky's the limit. You can always open up next door when you are already having something in your hand from the same industry. So wonderful. Thank you, Sonia.
So there are multiple areas. Of course, the list is endless. There's intellectual property, there's bankruptcy, there's family, estate law, and estate law would mean wills and estate. There's a residential real estate as well. There's corporate commercial, there's criminal, there's immigration. So every firm will have different specialty or just different practice areas that they offer to their clients. You can certainly apply to the firms which you have a little bit broader experience, but at the same time, if you know that you are inclined towards criminal, you can always apply to those firms as well and see if this is what your heart goes to. So there's, as I said, there's multiple areas of practice. The list is endless. Depends on what exactly you're looking for.
And Sonia, since we are seeing this slide, can you please share what is your specialization? Like, SN law firm is known for what kind of area of practice?
So we offer services in corporate commercial practice. We have residential real estate. We also practice in bankruptcy law. In fact, we did receive the top 3 law firms certificate as well from past 3 years. We've been receiving that. So bankruptcy law, family law. We also have wills and estates. Estate law is also form part of our practice area as well. So there are multiple other lawyers as well with us, and these are the core areas of practice for us.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, which brings to our last slide, I believe.
So how to start your own practice? I would
Absolutely.
suggest that before you jump in to starting your own practice, I would highly recommend to have at least a year of experience with any law firm. So after you complete articling, don't just rush into starting your own practice. I would suggest at least a year for you to be with a lawyer, to understand the process. Starting your own practice is a lot of work, a lot of money, and a lot of hard work as well. So Law Society does have substantial information. If you are looking for starting your own practice, they have Going Solo Kit, which provides information to the lawyers who are interested in setting up their own practice. It offers, what is must have for any offices, which is hardware and software requirements. They provide information as to what you should include in your law office systems, or how to have a retainer agreement, or which kind of files doesn't require retainer agreement, do's and don'ts for responsible lawyers. So the list is exhaustive. But Law Society certainly has substantial information. If you are looking to start your own practice, that's the first place I would go to get information. You can also start talking to other solo practitioners and see how their experience have been, and how did they start their first office. So talk to them as well. Peer support systems, I think that's very important. That's what I mean when I'm talking about talk to different lawyers, talk to solo practitioners, is to have some sort of a support system. So if you are in middle of something, and if you're lost, you can always pick up a phone and call and speak to them. There's practice advisors who can also offer you help if you are stuck in any position where you don't know where to start or where to end. They can certainly assist you with that. And networking, I guess, as we again go back to the same topic, networking is of course important for any lawyers, whether you're going solo, whether you're working with law firms. That is a crucial piece in every professional's life.
Perfect. All right. So, Soni, I think that was really very valuable information, and I also acknowledge that that might be little, intensive information for many people out there. But just to let you know, you can always reach out to me or Sony. We will share our email also into the link of this video where you can request for those slides. Those are shareable. We especially and Sony especially prepared all those slides for your benefit so that you can get some value out of it. So, Sony, thank you so much. I really, really want to acknowledge you. And being an immigrant, I also was into the same boat. I was having experience of certain industry, and I was looking forward some sort of support and guidance. Okay, if I need to start my career here, what are my options? And you gave what a wonderful practical example. Start from even maybe the small firm, get your feet into the door, and believe in networking, meet people. And this country is such a beautiful country. People are very supportive. If you reach out to anybody, and if you are genuinely interested and hardworking candidate, there are people out there who are willing to support you. People like Sony who are putting up their time and recording this session just to share their journey and just to give you the step-by-step idea how you can become a lawyer in this country, or how you can upgrade your education if you already have a law degree back home. So yeah, and I'm sure after even having those slides, you still be having so many questions and concerns and things to ask. So don't hesitate. Always reach out to us. We will share our numbers and email, as I said. So, Sony, anything else you want to share before we wind up this session?
No, I think I would suggest, always ask questions. If you don't ask questions, you'll never find any response. So don't hesitate and don't be shy to ask questions. If you are stuck anywhere, and if you uh, even don't have any information on lawyers, call Law Society. They are helpful as well. They can certainly guide you through process, even give you the numbers of mentors who can assist you. So there are names of mentors registered with Law Society as well. They're more than happy to assist any individuals. They're looking for information. So don't feel shy of asking questions. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Yeah, and all that information we just shared, we created that step by step PPT just came out of your question. So Sony, we shared with our friends and our circle of influence, like we're going to conduct this session with a lawyer. And if you have any question in regards to this industry, please feel free to share your question and concern. And you described each and everything which we brought to your attention very well. So thank you once again. And I remember I just simply texted you the last question which I got, which we didn't get a chance to prepare ahead. If you want to just address that, please go ahead.
Sure. I think so. The last question that you had that was asked by one of your circle member was, what are the advantages of being a lawyer versus getting my certification in mediation, and how do the two complement one another? So the advantage I would suggest, or I would say, for a lawyer to have a mediation, there's no mandatory requirement, but the reason why, I'll tell you why I did it. And perhaps if that can assist you in any way, the reason why I also do litigation. So I have all sort of parties, all sort of people, clients coming up with litigation issues, and their problems are big. So when the reason why I did mediation was to assist them and having some sort of tool to see if we can meet, or if we can resolve issues, at least some, if not all. I would still consider that as successful, because litigation is expensive. There's 100% success in family law. So if you have issues in parenting, child support, spousal support, there's no 100% success. The judicial authority are already flooded with lots of cases, and they don't know your family. So the judges out there, they don't know your family. You know them better. So if you are able to even mediate some issues, if not all, you have to meet halfway. both parties have to meet halfway. So the tools that I received from completing that course was immensely helpful in understanding to see if I can help the parties resolving some issues. My client certainly thanked me for addressing those issues, because it, of course, certainly saves the money big time. Litigation, as I said, is not cheap. So if they can save some money, that's helpful for them. It's helpful for their own family. So that was the main purpose for me to mediation. Also, I can, because I'm a certified mediator, I also have people coming to me just asking to do mediation. If they have one or two issues, they have resolved all the issues, they just stuck in one or couple of issues, I can help them in addressing as a mediator, letting them know what the law is and see if they can meet at some point halfway. And this is what the purpose of for me to do the mediation. Now, coming back to your question is, how do the two complement one another? As I said, the only reason I did was to assist people in resolving some issues, if not all. So it does complement. You certainly get a lot of tools, a lot of information, and also hands-on experience in seeing how in real world they give effect patterns. So even in the 40 hours course that I did, was a week-long course. Every day you have been given certain fact pattern, and there are teams, and then you need to assist the teams to see which team goes better in mediation and seeing if they are able to resolve. So it gives you a lot of hands-on experience as well, that will of course translate into your practical files as well, because when you have real people, you can certainly see if you can transcend that kind of tools and work with those people as well. So next question I have is, what advice do you have to balance life as a partner and mother as a law student and lawyer? There's no perfect answer to this. Balancing is going to be difficult. When I started my articling, I was pregnant at the time. So when I got my first job, my child was just less than a year. So it was difficult. Ultimately, you need to set your priorities. You need to know, how to balance in terms of work life and your family life. If you are stuck in a situation where where you are not able to manage or not able to balance it, as I said, there are peers, there are the lawyers. You can reach out to them, talk to them, talk to your seniors, talk to your managing partner, talk to the lawyers surrounding you, ask for help. Always ask for help, whether it's your partner, it's your support system from law firm, or extended families. Ask for help and see if they are able to assist you with that. Other thing I would probably add is, when I said priority, is, if you have, like, I've been in a situation where I had to leave office as well certain days earlier. I would see that I carry my files home, or when the child is asleep, you work overnight, finish it up the work, or you come in next day early, and that's how you balance it. And most lawyers, most firms are completely okay with that, are completely supportive. They understand that you are not just a lawyer, you also have different roles. You are wearing multiple hats, being a mother, being a lawyer, being a partner, a daughter, or daughter-in-law, whatever the different hats you're wearing. They are aware of that, and they are willing to help you, but don't feel shy of asking help. Is all I can say is, you can certainly do that as well. I think those are the two questions, Deepak, unless until.
Yes, I think you covered both of them very well. So yeah, thank you once again. So Soni, can you please share your email and your contact information so that if somebody is looking forward to reach out to you, they can reach out to you directly.
Sure. So my office number is 780-250-6666. That's the best number to reach or get hold of me. You can certainly schedule an appointment with my assistant and either telephone or in person. My office is situated on White Ave, 10328 81 Avenue, south of White Avenue. So there's, if you would like to schedule in-person meeting, I'm happy to do that as well. Yeah, if any questions, you can also reach me at my email address. My email is snayak@snlawofficeab.ca. Yeah, I can certainly, just pop in an email. I'm more than happy to assist you with that as well.
Awesome. So, and also, if you are looking forward to reach out to me, I can also connect you with Soni Nayak. So, my email is info@deepakchopra.ca, and my phone number is 780-710-6435. So, Soni, before we wind up the session, any last minute remarks or anything you want to share?
No, I think, as you rightly said, Canada is a beautiful country. It has got vast opportunities. I think every individual will certainly establish themselves if they work hard, and if they're persistent, and if they know what they want to achieve. I think so. Working hard is most important. If you ask me. Yeah, and all the best to all the individuals who are interested in applying to Canada or who are here and wanting to know about the process.
Yes, awesome, awesome. So I want to thank you once again, Soni, on behalf of my team and on behalf of our audience. You really shared such a wonderful and valuable information. And this is the only context and purpose of this channel to provide information people out there. As it names is the dot connected. So we are here to connect the dots between the expert and the people who are seeking for that information. So thank you for giving your valuable time, Soni, once again,
Thank you,
and
Deepak.
we'll see you soon. So guys, please stay tuned for more information and more updates. Please subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon to get all that valuable information in your own field. And please reach out to us if you want us to cover any specific topic. If you are looking forward for some information in any industry, whether it is accounting, law firm, real estate, mortgage, anything you're looking forward, please reach out to us. And we are here to bring those experts to support you. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Take care.